What's going on, champs and chambettes? It's FireMonkey here, and today's video has three main topics for us. We're going to be talking about Reboot Rally, the grapple gloves being unvaulted in the loot pool, but firstly, we're going to be talking about this tab right up here above my face called August 8th, which is very, very interesting, because it's the Jujutsu Kaisen x Fortnite collaboration. Now, it describes it as to break the curse, use the curse. The sorcerers from Jujutsu Kaisen arrive on August 8th, and one main thing to mention here is the main character is actually in the image, so the main character is coming to the game. I know the other characters, the three other characters around here, like Gojo, had been leaked beforehand, and we had seen them in their item shop preview or whatever else, but the main character just wasn't there at all, right? And a lot of people are like, well, what are they going to do then? But luckily, it does appear like he will be coming to the item shop or in a mini event pass as well, so let's go ahead and watch the video about the collaboration. As you guys can see, I made sure to keep my newsfeed open so that we could still watch the video, but it even showcases the two leaked emotes we had talked about previously, and then out of nowhere, they just bust through the wall, and look, there all four of them are. So it's very interesting to see how we are getting this cool little collaboration in the game, and there's something else I want to mention and point out here about everything, right? Is if we watch it again, we know that we're getting like a rubber mallet as a pickaxe in the game, but if you pay attention closely to the girl, you'll notice that they're not even really using the rubber mallet, right? They're having a different type of weapon actually equipped here, which we'll see in a very close moment. Yeah, you see that? You got like the hammer and the little whatever you want to call it, nails or whatever it is. I still need to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, but it makes a lot of people curious. If we know that that's not going to be the pickaxe, what if we're going to actually be getting some anime themed mythics on the island? And it would make sense because if we look here, you got the whole entire like flaming hands going on all the characters. You got like the little like electric going on over here on Gojo, and it is in an area where a lot of people are like, okay, so it really looks like they have some mythics planned that they could put in the game for us to actually use once this collaboration releases with the V25.30 update, which is now confirmed to be August 8th, unless, they somehow have a freak show 1 minute last delay or something like that. But it is something to keep in mind is that we might get mythics and maybe even a mini event pass. The mini event pass is kind of speculated based on him not even being in the normal, item shop leaks or whatever else, which makes people think that maybe he's not coming to the item shop as of yet and is going to be in a mini event pass where it's like you buy a tier and then you're able to actually unlock the paid tier and free tier similar to Star Wars, so that you get a little bit of more benefits in order to actually continue grinding out the whole entire collaboration. But on top of that, it's not just about Jujutsu Kaisen we're talking about here, because Reboot Rally has returned to the Fortnite island and it will be available until August 26th at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So basically you can reboot a friend or a bot lobby account, play with them, earn a free spray, a wrap, a pickaxe, and a back bling just added to your inventory. Now these aren't exclusive to Reboot Rally and they can be given away in the item shop at a later date, so keep that in mind. But if they do that, typically they release a bundle with a new skin or something else, so you get a nice little discount when it comes to purchasing all those cosmetics. So it is in that little vague area where it's like they might do a bundle, they might not, we really don't know here, but we do know that at least when it comes to the cosmetics, they're pretty much all reskins except for the wrap and spray, of course, of already existing stuff, and may give us a hint on what this skin that could be coming in a later update for the Reboot Rally bundle in the item shop could potentially look like. But of course, that's just a little bit of a side thing. If you're playing the game, you've got something else to grind. But on top of that, the grapple gloves have returned to the Fortnite island. They've been unvaulted and they will be used in a week 9 quest that releases in a few days. So that is a fun little thing just to have there, especially if you're someone who's been wanting more mobility. I know at the very start of this season, we talked about the grapple gloves being unvaulted eventually and how they'd be added to the loot pool because they were getting updated and whatever else. And it appears that they're finally going to be added to the loot pool for us to actually use in game. So yeah, pretty jam-packed update today. Hotfix update, news, teaser update, whatever else you want to call it. We got Reboot Rally, we got the Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration, and grapple gloves, so let's hop in a game and just talk about everything for a moment. Alright, now that we're in game, the first thing I want to talk about is actually going to be about grapple gloves. This is something that we leaked at the start of the season. We were like, guys, they're going to be adding more mobility to the season. I know you guys are complaining about mobility right now, but trust me, they're going to end up doing it. And sure, it's arriving in the final month of the season, but at the same time, I told you so, right? We all kind of told you so. We all knew that grapple gloves are being updated, and it appears like, yeah, Epic Games did plan to bring back grapple gloves, and they're finally enabled in the loot pool. Now, the odd thing is, when we originally leaked grapple gloves returning, we had talked about it in the way of Epic Games updating it to be sold from NPCs, and instead of it being sold by any NPC on the island, they're just loot on the ground, right? They're actual loot that you're able to find like you would in the normal grapple gloves anyways, so they're not the original intended way that Epic Games planned for us us to actually earn the grapple gloves, but they are in the game still, and we are able to find them, which I think is overall just a nice little change, right? Especially since you're going towards the end of the season, just having it get a little bit more ridiculous with the loot pool and with collaborations and everything else is not a bad thing. It just kind of gives us more stuff to really focus on and do, while we're kind of chilling with a little bit, you know, less of just things in the game other than collabs to really focus on. So having these different little like collaborations here and there and having the ability for us to, you know, have grapple gloves once again is just a nice little change to give more variety to the loot pool at a time when it kind of feels like, man, do I really want to play right now? But then again, you see things like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen, oh, Reboot Rally, oh, grapple gloves, all announced in the same day that you're like, okay, it's getting to the point where I'm like, now they're starting to pick it up with some of the collaborations and changes to the loot pool. Let me go ahead and hop in and start playing. And that's something Epic Games does a lot of the time, right? They, for some reason, like putting a lot of their collaborations at the very end of the season, or I guess a lot of their changes in general, all packed to the very end, to the point where I'm sitting here like, do I make a video on one topic because I think it's going to be the best topic? Or do I talk about literally every single topic like we're doing in today's video, because of the fact that it's like, if I don't talk about it today, well, everyone else will have already gotten the chance to talk about it, and the video won't do as well, you know? It's like they just kind of threw it all out there after we kind of sat there for a while like, well, this season's in an interesting spot, right? You know, after everyone made their complaints and everything, they're like, bam, boom, bam, bop, boop, with just everything happening all at once in the game, and it's all just so like rapid fire, it seems, right? But in terms of grapple gloves being back in the game, I'm excited to use them once again. Now, they did kind of update them a little bit so that the animations and everything else were a bit more fluid, but it is just, you know, a nice little item to use. Now, for anyone who hasn't been keeping up with the news about grapple gloves, however, they actually made a nerf to it. I know what you might be thinking. How did they nerf these gloves, right? What have they actually changed to make it so masterfully nerfed? Well, they made it so that you cannot use grapple gloves and the kinetic blade at the exact same time. Basically, they stated in the files that, oh, this is, you know, help prevent people from outloading the level, because as you're playing the game, the world around you is procedurally generated, you know, the H-LODs and everything else, which is kind of like the lower version of building and stuff. So like if I'm far away from that, it won't be the full texture, but it'll be kind of like a more meshed out version of it to kind of give you the idea of what the outline would be. Or if you're on a low PC, you know, whenever you, or just, you know, like a low spec device, you know, whenever you go towards a building and it just is like all meshed up and you're like glitching, bobbing up and down in it, that's basically what the H-LODs are. And they are kind of preventing the ability for players to kind of be running around so fast, so they make it so they're going to areas before the actual meshes fully load in for them to view and enjoy. So it is a little interesting to see how it's going down. But of course, that is what Epic Games has been doing, and they made that little nerf to kind of prevent that. So it makes me wonder if we will have a season where we get grapple gloves and the kinetic blade enabled at the exact same time. But on the same note, they have done this change to creative mode as well. So if you play creative mode and you have a whole entire map set up, which benefits from both the grapple gloves and the kinetic blade simultaneously, that's no longer possible. It's going to bug out and you're going to have to fix it and whatever else so that people can enjoy the map normally, because that mechanic just doesn't work anymore. They decided to make it not a mechanic in the game. Now, other than that, you know, other than just grapple gloves and everything else, Reboot Rally's back. You know, that's a nice little change to see and everything else. I don't understand why, you know, for example, the daily quest to get an energy boost with slap juice, however, does not count with the slap splashes, right? You splash it down and it doesn't count. You have to actually use the consumable juice version in order for that progress to go towards, you know, the daily quest. But the only reason I'm kind of focusing on that is because of the fact it is a daily, and the whole entire Reboot Rally system is working on do your dailies, right? Go ahead, play with other people, do the dailies with them, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be a fun little collaboration. It's nice to have all these little changes to the game right now, where it gives us more of a reason to actually play during a time when it's like, man, do I really want to play? And I'm excited to see if we end up getting a mini event pass or whatever else with the update. But of course, that is all to be seen with the August 8th update. And I'll catch you champs and champettes tomorrow with another YouTube video. So consider subscribing and support the content you create, and of course, peace out.